Saydnaya prison, north of the Syrian capital Damascus, has become a notorious symbol of the inhumane abuses of the Assad clan, especially since the country's civil war erupted in 2011. Many of the prison locations in Syria were kept secret. Rights groups estimate that around 100,000 people went missing during the civil war, many of them behind those prisons' walls. According to Agence France-Presse, the prison complex was the site of extrajudicial executions, torture and forced disappearances, epitomizing the atrocities committed against his opponents by ousted President Bashar al-Assad. Thousands of prisoners were freed from Assad's prisons after Syrian forces toppled his 2-decade-long dictatorship on the weekend. Some of those who emerged were long feared dead. Days later, throngs of people are still making their way to Saydnaya, hoping for news of loved ones who long ago disappeared into its bowels. Some of those choosing to enter the prison to see the cramped and lightless conditions their loved ones endured often come out reeling. Many women are overcome with emotion. In 2016, a United Nations Commission found that the Syrian government has also committed the crimes against humanity of murder, rape, or other forms of sexual violence, torture, imprisonment, enforced disappearance, and other inhuman acts, notably at Saydnaya. The following year, Amnesty International, in a report entitled Human Slaughterhouse, documented thousands of executions there, calling it a policy of extermination. Shortly afterwards, the United States revealed the existence inside Saydnaya of a crematorium in which the remains of thousands of murdered prisoners were burnt. There were horrifying scenes at Saydnaya when cell blocks were forced open to expose painfully thin inmates, some too weak to stand. The women's block included children born and held in captivity. War Monitor, the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, in 2022 reported that around 30,000 people had been imprisoned in Saydnaya, where many were tortured, and that just 6,000 were released. More than 30,000 prisoners were executed or died under torture, or from the lack of medical care or food between 2011 and 2018. Many inmates are officially considered to be missing, with their families never receiving death certificates unless they handed over exorbitant bribes. Several foreigners also ended up in Syrian jails. According to the Arab Organization for Human Rights in Jordan, 236 Jordanian citizens were held in Syrian prisons, most of them in Saydnaya. Other freed foreigners include Suhail Hamawi from Lebanon, who returned home after being locked up in Syria for 33 years, and also spent time inside Saydnaya.
Summer kan van de vreemdelingen wel bestaan.
Part of Russian military forces stationed in Syria has begun to withdraw from the city of Homs. The relevant images were distributed on Telegram channels. 3 convoys, consisting of dozens of armored military vehicles and trucks, are said to be headed for bases in Tartus and Khmimi. According to estimates, the convoys then headed for the bases to be sent to Russia. It should be noted that Russian troops have been moving in different directions of Syria for several days now.
لا يردكم